So in this video, we're going to talk about life after 40. And before I talk about life after 40, I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching the previous video on my journey to sobriety. People ask me, was that a hard video to make? And to be honest, making the video was not hard. Only because I thought about making that video even before I started this channel. I knew that I wanted to do that video for so many reasons. And definitely the number one reason was to help you guys understand what alcohol can do to the body and how it affects your body throughout the years. So that was my main purpose of making that video, just to make us all think about the consequences of drinking alcohol. That's it. I'm not trying to make you stop or anything like that. I'm trying to make you be aware so that you make better decisions when you decide to drink. So, moving forward, the only problem that I have with you guys is that I made that nice video for you, and I go out on the town and I see you guys in the streets. And when I see you guys, what you do, you pull me to the side and then you give me all these wonderful responses about the video and how much it's blessed you and all that good stuff. And I want to stop you in that moment and just say, can you take those wonderful words that you're saying right now and go home? I'll get it on your phone. Go to the video and put it right there underneath the video where it says comments. Please, please, because that's how it helps me. That is how it helps me. We're trying to help people, and I can't help people if the YouTube algorithm does not push it. And the only way they're going to push it is with people like you putting wonderful words underneath the video. So please, go back to the video and put your comments in the video. Because we're trying to run that video up. We're trying to run it up, man. I'm trying to reach people. That's the goal, man. We trying to get people aware, man. I can't get them aware if you're going on there watching the video, but you ain't commenting. We trying to get out here. We trying to get out here. Help your brother out, please. Please, man. But other than that, man, it is the highest viewed video so far on the channel. So I do want to say thank you guys for checking it out. But it also brings me to this next video, which is pretty much where all my videos came from, because I started thinking about life after 40, and people use the term midlife crisis, where you reach this age and you feel like you just been living on autopilot, like you're just going through the motions and you're just doing just the normal things in life, or doing what you think people are supposed to do. And then you reach this age and then you feel like there's more to life. It has to be more to life than just going to work and raising a family and all that kind of stuff, which is good. It's great. But you still feel like it has to be more to life than this. And I started looking at all the videos that I've already done, and I believe I've done over 20 videos. So I'm looking at all the titles and I'm like, man, am I going through a midlife crisis? And I think I am. I think I am, just thinking about life, because like you reach this age and you start thinking about all the things that you've already done in life, and you're still feeling like it has to be more to life than just this. And we're going to talk about that in this video. So let's talk about it. Now, as for me, I'm 42 years old, about to be 43 in May. And I was thinking about this because, in the first half of your life, like from the time you're born up to 40 years old, you spend that time trying to figure out who you are as a person. And on top of that, you have to deal with what society tells you you're supposed to be as a person. And we graduate from high school, and then we have to make a decision on what we're going to do after high school, whether we're going to go to college or go into the military or get a trade or something. And hopefully or luckily, you figure that out or have some kind of interest to take that step to go after that certain um, occupation. And if you're lucky, you do that, and then Lord willing, you find a special someone in your life, and you get married, and then Lord willing, y'all have kids, and life is great, right? And you keep on doing that until you reach 40 years old and up. Because after that, you reach the second half of your life, and then your body started making these changes. Those body aches start happening, and you start realizing that you're not a spring chicken like you used to be, and you're moving kind of slow, and your body start wearing down a little bit, and you start to realize that you ain't gonna be here forever. you know because when you're young, life is great. You got all this energy, you ready to go all the time, can't nothing stop you, and all that kind of stuff. All that junk be that junk be gone when you reach 40, man. Like, that junk is real. It is real. But it makes you sit down and evaluate your life. Like, okay, like, who am I really? Like, what do I value? Like, what are the things that I want to do? Because that first half, you're just spending time, like, going to work, climbing that corporate ladder, trying to be the highest paid person in your position for the most part. You got kids, you watching over them, making sure they straight, taking care of them, and being a parent and all that kind of stuff. And you just start going through the motion, going through the cycle each and every year. But then you reach 40, and you're looking like, okay, I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life. Something's got to change. You know, like, you feel like there got to be more to life than this. It has to be more to life than this, and it is. It is. But like I said earlier, if that's what it feels like to be in a midlife crisis. And I know when we hear that word midlife crisis, we tend to think about the guy that goes out and buys a sports car and start jumping out of planes and doing all these crazy things, because they just feel like they missing out. And yeah, there's some truth to that, but that's not all what it is. That's not all what it is. So when you do reach that point in your life, or quote unquote midlife crisis, it just makes you sit down and evaluate your life to see what exactly do you value within your life. And you sit down and ask yourself, who am I really? Like, really, what who am I? What do I value? And what do I want to do with my life? Because you realize you only have one life to live, and you ain't gonna be here forever. And all these other thoughts start flooding in your brain about the things that you're missing out in your life, or the things that you need to accomplish in your life. And it's real. It is real. It is real. I didn't realize it until I looked over my videos, and I was like, dang, that's what I'm talking about. Talk about midlife crisis, man. Like, all these experiences and stuff, like all the stuff you go through and try to overcome. And that's pretty much what it's all about, man. So let's talk about how you can notice whether you're dealing with a midlife crisis or dealing with, this evaluation of your life. So, midlife crisis, it's real. It is definitely real. But you need to remember, whether you use that term or not, it is nothing but an invitation to stop living on autopilot. So I pray that you welcome this invitation, because when you do, you will redefine what you think success is, and you will also stop chasing the things that society tells you that you should chase. And when you do that, you will start asking yourself questions like, what do you value as a person? And who you are as a person? And what do you want to accomplish as a person? And if you've been following me, you know my story on this and how I went about learning what I wanted to do with my life. And the best way I can put it is in a quote by the one and only Maya Angelou. And she said this: ask for what you want and be prepared to get it. So once you understand and realize the changes that you want to make in your life at this age, you will also develop these fears. And some of those fears are like how it will affect your family, how it will affect your career, whether you leave your current job and do something else, and will you have to start completely over from where you were, and will you lose all the stuff that you already worked for? So you have all these fears and thoughts that come in your head when you start thinking about making a change. And I will say that it is okay to think that. And it is also a pretty good indication that you are on the right path because nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. But the fact that you have all that is a very good indication that you are on the right path. So I can tell you what helped me was asking some other questions that um, gave another positive aspect of it. So here are some of those questions that helped me out. So the first question is, what is your life really about? And I thought about that and I was thinking about my life and I was like, if somebody was to sit down and read my life, like read all the stuff that happened in my life, what would they talk about? Would it be boring? Would they have anything to talk about? Like what could they speak on about my life that stood out the most? And like I said, I would like somebody to read my life and read it how it is in my mind, how I view myself, what do I like to do, and not what people think about me. I wanted to really show what I am and what I'm about. And the only way you're going to do that is if you express it out in the world and get it out and not keep it within. So that is one way you can look at it to help you figure out who you are as a person. So you can look back and say, if somebody was to sit down and read my life and talk about my life and what it was about, would it be accurate? Would it be accurate? So keep that in consideration. So here's the next question. So the next question is, what do I want to leave as a legacy? And when I hear that question, I automatically think about my children because the most important thing that I want for them is to always remember that they can do anything that they put their mind to. So when they grow up and they feel like they can't do X, Y, and Z, they already know that that's not true because they saw their dad do all kind of stuff. And I want them to have that same mindset that they can do anything that they put their mind to. Nothing is too big that they can't accomplish. And that's the legacy I want to leave for them and not even just them, just for anybody that I come in contact with. Um, so when you see me do these things, I just want that to be a reminder to you that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So whatever you got to do, if you got to figure it out, learn it, whatever, just do that. If you really want to do it, you can do it. So that's one of the main things that I want to leave for for my kids and for people in general is to let them know you can do anything that you put your mind to. So the last question I have is, how do I find meaning beyond accomplishments? And I find meaning beyond accomplishments by helping people, helping others. So, like I said, when I did the video about sobriety, or when I DJ and do a great job, and I see how it affects people in a good way, and or changes people's lives, man, like that is what I find meaning in. So I don't mind doing stuff like that or put myself out there because I know it's going to help somebody. So if I know that, I'll do it all day. I'll do it all day because that's what we're here to do, is to help uplift each other through our works. So that's how I find meaning in my accomplishments. So I believe that the second half of our life is all about integration. So basically, we take all of the experiences and knowledge that we developed in our 20s and 30s and applying it in the second half of our life, which is 40 and up. So there is a transition that takes place, and I feel like we should embrace it. So I wanted to bring up a couple of things to help you deal with the transition. So let's talk about that. So the first thing I want to bring up is you should make peace with change. It is okay for change, and change is good. Everything changes, seasons change, you change each and every day. You're not the same person that you used to be years ago, and it's okay and it's good. It is okay, and we should embrace that. So I know some people say, you're not the same and all that stuff. You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be. You're getting older. It's okay, and like I say, things happen all the time, situations happen all the time, and you have to, move with it. You got to go with the flow sometimes, and you can't be the same person that you were years ago, and it's okay. So please embrace the change. The next thing you want to do is try to reconnect with forgotten parts of yourself. And what I mean by that is, like, try to find those forgotten parts of yourself, like hobbies or things you may have had interest in growing up that you kind of let fall to the wayside due to life. And you make it look back and say, hey, I want to go back and do that again. Or you make a business out of something that you may have had an interest in back in the day. You don't know. But the goal is to try to reconnect with that and see if you want to look into it. So you could give that a shot. So the next thing is, and what I feel the most important thing you could possibly do with this transition, is to sit down and define what success is to you. And I say this is one of the most important things because I did it for myself, and it helped me realign everything in my life, from my business to my family to everything. Like, when you see what you want and what you desire for your life, it will help you out a ton. And it will also help you say yes to some things and say no to some other things. It will keep you focused on what you need to do. And I highly recommend you sit down and define what success is to you. So, the last thing that I feel would help you in this transition is to always remember that this is a process, it's not an event. So, this is not a one time thing, this is a total process that you have to go through throughout this transition. So, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but it's worth it, and you can go through it with ease if you just take your time and embrace the transition. So as we bring this video to a close, I want to bring up one more quote for you, and that's by Layla Akita, and she says this: "It's never too late to start living the life you wish you had." And that's what I feel like. I feel like the first half of our life was all about preparation. So when we were in our 20s and 30s, we spent that time trying to figure out who we are as a person and who we are in this world. But then when we reach the second half of our life, which is 40 and over, I feel like that's the transition that we make when we start to walk in our true self and we start to live the life that we are supposed to live. And like I said, if you embrace that transition, it is one of the most coolest things ever. Because we all know, and we all said it one point in time, where we can't wait to get a certain age because we feel like we can do things with nobody telling us that's wrong, or we can say things that nobody's gonna say that's not right to say because we got a certain age. And I get that now because you get that feeling like, hey man, I ain't gonna be here too much longer. I don't care, you know. And that's cool, man. That is cool. But you get that other sense of walking in your true self. Like you realize that time is winding down, so you can either play these games or you can do everything that God called you to do. And that's pretty much all it's um, panned out to be, man. So it's a beautiful thing. It is. It's definitely a beautiful thing. So if you ask me, true life really begins after the age of 40.